Hi folks, as you know, my new book, To Hell and Back Barefoot, is out now on Amazon and you can get a signed copy via my website. And I just thought I'd do a little chatty bit about it so people understand what it's about a bit more. The book itself was written because, as you know, I did a huge adventure challenge back in June in 2019 where I did the coast to coast completely barefoot, and it brought so many challenges. It brought laughter, it brought tears, and I really did feel like I'd gone to hell and back. The book itself brings you into the adventure before it even started, so as you can understand the kind of mindset that I have when I push on with adventures. And a lot of people get to a certain point where they would give up. Well, that's non-negotiable in my life. And I let you into the mindset that it takes to be able to pull off an adventure like this when you're faced with so many challenges, not just one or two a day, but multiple challenging environments, weather, obstacles throughout the day. 16 years old, I was told I was going to be a failure in this life off my dad. He does eat his words now because what he did back in the day was expected, where your son would follow your father into work. I didn't want to do that, so I changed the course of my life. And those words that my dad told me, you're going to be a failure in this life, was the one thing that I needed to just turn my life into a very, very positive life. And everything throughout life, I've just lived on the success of that because of those few words. Day one of the adventure started with a storm. Storm Miguel was battering the UK. It was one of the worst Junes on record we had, and I picked June for a reason. June is normally you have the longest days of the year with the maximum daylight. You've got good weather, but in this particular instance, 10 out of the 14 days, I was absolutely battered with wind, rain, and some absolutely atrocious weather. I remember being in the camper van from my support team in St. Bees car park, just getting ready to set off. I was straightening my funky hat. My crazy hat was all lined up. I was ready. I was perfectly, good to go. But I just kept staying put because the warmth in the camper van was great, and just knowing that when I walked outside, I was just going to be battered by the elements. However, I had to do it, and when I walked out of the door, I was met with the amazing people from the Chris Lucas Trust. The Chris Lucas Trust are my main charity that I support, that and another charity, Hartlepool Ambulance. But everybody made an effort from the Chris Lucas Trust, no matter what the weather was like, to come out and see me off on this challenge. 9 o'clock come, that was my start time. The satellite tracker was switched on, and then I was off. Crossing 3 national parks was a major challenge. I've done the coast to coast 3 times now. On the previous 2, one was on a bike, one was running through snow blizzards, but I always had something on my feet. This one was completely barefoot, and given the fact that the weather was really battering us, I was coming across things that I never even factored into the equation in June. Frostbite in the mountains, the sharpness of the terrain, and I'd practiced for 13 months to try and get myself conditioned, my feet conditioned for anything. But some of those trails out in the Lake District, they were just challenging to the point whereby I thought, am I actually going to be able to do this? The Lake District National Park, it was a very challenging part of the journey. The scree, the mountains, 14-hour days just to get a few miles under my belt in some cases. However, once I moved into the Yorkshire Dales National Park, things started getting a little bit greener, a little bit flatter, and a little bit better underfoot. And then the next challenge come in my home turf here, where I'm at now, in the North Yorkshire Moors National Park. We've got probably some of the best paths across the whole country for walking, assuming you've got hiking boots on, of course. But those paths are so well laid with dolomite, with rocks and stones, which became an absolute nightmare for a barefoot guy. Getting to Robin Hood's Bay, my end point of the adventure, was a very, very surreal experience. I was met with people who I don't even know coming up to me, congratulating me, wishing me all the best, taking a look at my feet, commenting on the state they were in. But I made it. After 14 days of being battered by the weather, by the terrain, by your constant obstacles in the way, my mind helped push me through and get me to the end point where I said I would be. I took a look at my feet and thought, I have no option here. They just look like a corpse's feet. I'm going to have to go to the hospital, get them sorted out. The result? Well, a diphtheria injection in one arm, tetanus injection in the other arm, stern words from the male nurse who said, did you not realise you were going to be at risk with open wounds on your feet walking through farmyard slurry? My reply to him was, well, I didn't expect to get frostbite in June, but I did. The result after that was strong antibiotics, rest your feet, and painkillers. Would I do it again? Yeah, absolutely. I love the coast to coast. I've done it numerous ways, and I'm always going to be finding new ways to maybe conquer the coast to coast. But I'm starting to take the coast to coast out now to different countries and do it in creative ways across their lands as well. The book is out now, folks. The whole adventure is in it, all 14 days, the before it and the aftermath as well. But there's a lot in the book about how you can condition your mind to actually get over anything in this life. I believe in this life, anything can be figured out. We all get these stumbling blocks, and they're the points that most people would say, do you know what, I've had enough of this. However, if you just condition your mind, take a look at it, you'll always figure that situation out and find a way around it.